wanted to tell you a story about my day today. We have a weird intercom system I don't know how to use. Someone buzzed. I don't know how to call down, buzz down, or open the door. I opened the door, and as I was opening the door and setting my foot out, I wasn't paying enough attention and walked out the door without my key. I was in sandals, sitting at the house. I didn't have my key, I didn't have my phone, I didn't have my wallet, I didn't have anything with me to be able to solve this problem. I couldn't call Kat and say, hey, I need a key. I couldn't take a bus to go pick up a key from Kat at work. I don't know Kat's number by heart because it's a brand new number, nor do I know my own. I get down to talk to the postman who wants to see my ID. I don't have it. I don't have my ID because it's locked in my apartment. I said to him, I'm sorry, I just locked myself out of my apartment. I don't have anything. I can't give you my phone number. I can't give you my passport number. Nothing. I said, if you need to take it and I'll pick it up at the post office later, I will do that. But I gotta figure out how I'm getting back into my apartment. So he was very nice. Sighed. Here, just sign for it. So I did. Very nice man. So he left. I start to cry. I start to cry a lot, trying to think, how in the world am I going to get into my apartment? I can't call anybody. I have no money to get anywhere. I don't know anybody. I don't know the landlord's number, nor do I have the ability to call him. After pushing on my door a little bit to see if maybe it wasn't that sturdy or that strong, I decided to go see if my neighbor, who's next door, who is frequently on the roof doing laundry, is on the roof. And maybe I can use her phone, or they can send an email to Kat, or I don't know her number. Maybe they can search her on WhatsApp. I don't know. And I'm freaking out thinking, I don't even know what time it is. How am I gonna know when to pick up the kids? So I go up there. They're not up there. I'm pacing up and down. I'm sitting on the step. I'm crying. I'm overwhelmed. I go back up on the roof, and it's the older woman who I see doing laundry. I said, excuse me. I locked myself out of my apartment. Could I use a phone? Do you have WhatsApp? I don't know what to do. The woman says, hold on. Get my daughter. She doesn't speak a lot of English. So she gets her daughter. And daughter comes up, and I try to explain what's going on, and she sees all the doors on the roof and goes, but, so are you stuck on the roof? I said, no, it's to my flat. I can get off the roof, but I can't get anywhere to get into my flat. Even though my balcony is open, it's 2 floors up. No way to get on that. She goes, hold on, let me check. She goes and talks to her boyfriend, she said, and she comes back. She's like, someone's coming for help. Someone's coming. If he calls me, I'll come get you here on the roof. He's gonna meet you downstairs. So this lovely lady and her mom called a locksmith for me to come right away and take 2 seconds to open up my flat. Yeah, it cost me 40 euros to get into my place. But I was so happy to finally be back in my apartment where my phone was and my money and all the other stuff that I need to be able to function. And of course, he tells me it's 40 euros and I don't have any cash, or I have very little cash. I said, can you take a card? Oh, do you have Revolut? Do you have Why? I don't have Revolut because it's linked to a bank account, and so Kat, of course, has a Revolut. So I said, hold on, can I call my spouse? I'll have my spouse send the money. Just give me a second. So I give him my number, and he sends me the thing. Kat picks up, luckily, and I tell her what happened. Sends the money, no problem. The guy leaves, and very nice man. Came quick and simple, He was just like, yeah, keep your key on you all the time. I'm not used to that. We don't have to do that in the States. So now I know. that can happen. I should have assumed that could happen, but you know, old habits die hard. So, talked to Kat for a few minutes. I'm crying because I was so stressed out and I didn't know how I was going to get in, and I didn't have the resources to feel like I could properly handle the situation on my own. So she talks me down a little bit. You know, it's okay, it happens, it's not a big deal. I'm feeling totally stupid, you know. What a silly thing to get locked out of your own apartment. Moral of the story for myself, never go anywhere without my key or my phone, or both, which only adds to my anxiety as a semi-anxious person anyway. But I found a new use for my teacher lanyard. And that way, when I'm going to the roof to put out the laundry, I just put it around my neck. And that way I have my key in case my door decides to slam shut.